Welcome to the Dream Oracle podcast with your host, Ashley, where we journey through the realms of dreams to unveil the hidden messages of the subconscious. Join me as we connect to the divine and explore the deeper layers of the mind. Hello, everyone, and welcome back. It has been such a long time since I've posted a podcast episode. I have had so much going on between mundane stuff, spiritual stuff, and it's not that I veered off path. I feel like everything that I've been doing is relevant to my journey, and I've had so many epiphanies and revelations. But I did kind of focus on mediumship for a little bit, and I did learn a lot focusing on that. However, I felt like I focused so much on the mediumship that I lost the healing and guidance part of what I'm meant to be doing. Not that I lost it, it's just the mediumship, just connecting to spirit, that part of it just kind of took over. And I sat with myself the other day and I had this message that popped into my head, and it was mediumship is not the focus. And I was like, what the heck? And I wasn't really having the greatest day, so I didn't really think too much of it, and I just brushed it aside because I absolutely do love mediumship. I love connecting to spirit. I love giving messages to their loved ones. However, I have to keep that healing and guidance intention in there as well, because I don't want to just connect somebody to their loved one and keep them longing for that connection. I want them to heal and move past and step forward and not stay anchored in the same position, because we're not meant to stay anchored in the same spot. We're meant to break free, move, grow, journey, all of those things, right? So if I'm just connecting somebody to their loved one and giving, evidence that I'm connected to them, that's not going to help them move past or grow or expand into a bigger, better version of themselves. And, this is one thing that I've learned on this journey, is that it is an ever growing, evolving, expanding, learning, relearning journey. And I just sat with myself and I had that thought pop into my head that mediumship isn't the focus. So again, that day I just kind of brushed it aside, and then I went further into it a few days later, and that's pretty much what I'd come up with, is that I'm meant to help heal and guide people, not just connect them to their loved ones. So I have to make sure I keep that intention of healing and guiding in there as well. So that's pretty much what I have been doing since I have been absent on my podcast recording. Not too much else that I've had going on, although that itself is a lot. But this dream that I am going to read today I had a long time ago, but I have a friend who has shared this class with me. She told me about this dreaming or lucid dreaming class, and I watched the first week, or listened to the first week of it, and this the first week brought me back to this dream that I had a while ago. So I'm going to read this dream because I feel like it's a pretty cool dream. And I did pull quite a few dream reading cards. And again, I used the dream reading cards by Rose and Zira. It comes with the dream reading cards as well as the oracle cards. So I'm just going to get right into the dream now. And the title of the dream is Gatekeeper of the Sleeping Realm. So in this dream, I was entering dreamland. And there was a gatekeeper who could let you in and out, but to get out, he required payments. Once you're in, that's the only way out. Everything in there is anywhere between dreams come true to your worst nightmare. And if you die in there, you die in real life. There is someone in there trying to kill me, and he found me and cut me a few times with a butcher knife. I managed to escape and made it all the way back to the gatekeeper. But the gatekeeper shut the machine down that lets you out and said it's closed for the night. But I tried to bribe him. He seemed to be obsessed with chapsticks, and I promised him his favorite flavor, Dr. Pepper. The way out is to eat a micro-sized birthday cake that is tailored to your personality. And if someone ate your cake, you couldn't escape. So I ate the serial killer's cake so he couldn't come out with me, and then I ate mine and woke up in real life. What What a silly dream. Very, very silly dream. So as soon as I fell asleep, I made it to this gatekeeper who allows you into the dreaming realm. And in there, you could have good dreams, bad dreams, whatever it might be, literally just the dreaming realm, right? So anything can happen in there. And while I was in there, somebody was trying to kill me, and he actually did stab me a few times. And I remember feeling like the pain of the stabbing. Again, this dream I had a while ago, so I can't remember everything. And then once I got stabbed, I'm obviously trying to make it out so that I'm not stuck in there, because again, if I die in the dreaming realm, then I die in real life. So I made it all the way back to the gatekeeper, and he wouldn't let me out because he had shut the machine down. And I don't even know how I knew that he was obsessed with chapsticks, and I bribed him with his favorite flavor in order to let me out. And another thing was the micro-sized birthday cakes. That is like, I don't know where that came from, but you eat the cake in order to wake up, to bring you out of the sleeping realm. So if somebody eats your cake, they can't come with you into the waking life. So kind of giving me like Nightmare on Elm Street vibes a little bit, because if I didn't eat his cake, then essentially maybe he would have come with me in my waking life, the killer, not the gatekeeper. So I ate his cake so he couldn't come with me, and then I ate mine, and then I woke up in real life. So the first card that I pulled is the death card, because obviously there was conversations or not thoughts of death, but I was scared that I was going to die in there because I was being stabbed. So that's the first card I pulled. Now I'm not reading the whole meaning. I'm just going to read what kind of sticks out to me. I'm going to read the first little bit. So death is a symbol of an ending of something and changes that will follow. Now, I always love getting the death card in tarot readings, or I haven't seen a death card in oracle cards, but there is some similar cards in oracle cards as the death, because death doesn't necessarily mean actual physical death. It's the end of something old and allowing space for something new to begin. So if you dream of a loved one or someone you know dying, it suggests that you feel disconnected from that person in real life. It can indicate an end of the relationship as it was, whether the person is a colleague, friend, partner, or family. Sometimes the people who die in your dreams represent parts of yourself that you have lost or that no longer serve you. Death represents an ending of a chapter in your life. It should not be considered negative. It is much like a rite of passage. It is a new beginning that holds many opportunities for you. The chance to begin again and embrace new emotional or physical experiences. The serial killer is a version of me that is trying to kill an old version to allow space for a new version. And I say version, and it could be like an aspect of myself or a quality, anything like that. So, and then there is a part down here in the book that says, dreaming of your own death is about evolving and developing into a new you. Old ways of seeing things have passed on, passed over, expired, and other euphemisms used for death. New self-awareness is coming into being so that you can move forward in your life. Death, therefore, heralds a new birth. So pretty much what I had just said, that there's this aspect of myself trying to kill the current aspect. And that could just be maybe thought processes or anything really, some type of like version or aspect of myself that is trying to, be killed and give space for a new version of myself. So the other card that I pulled is the people card. And obviously I pulled people because there's the gatekeeper, that's a person. There's the serial killer, that's the person. And then there's obviously my version of me in there, so that's a person as well. So people represent aspects of the self, each one an archetype of yourself. So I'm just going to read again what stands out to me. Archetypal characters are universal because they represent types of people we all encounter in our lives. In dreams, they symbolize the qualities within yourself or those you associate with others. So again, going back to everyone in the dream representing a quality within myself. So the serial killer is some type of quality that is trying to come forth and overcome the current quality or aspect of myself in my waking life. And then the other part that stands out to me is strangers represents parts of yourself that you haven't explored yet or are afraid to explore. If you are a tourist, you are seeing things with a new and fresh outlook. So the tourist part doesn't really matter. Well, actually, I guess it kind of does because I'm touring the dream realm. So there's a gatekeeper who's allowing me into the dream realm, which essentially is I'm the tourist in the dream realm. So I'm just going to read that again because I dismissed it because it didn't mean anything in the moment. But so if you're a tourist, you are seeing things with a new and fresh outlook, so which is 100% relevant. Strangers represent parts of yourself that you haven't explored yet or are afraid to explore. So again, the serial killer is a stranger, so that is parts of myself I haven't explored yet or are afraid to explore. Very, very relevant. And then again, the part about the tourist, you are seeing things with a new and fresh outlook. The serial killer is essentially killing the old outlook or the old aspects or the old versions that I have had. So the other card that I pulled is the chased card because I was being chased. So being chased represents those things that you are running away from. So I'm running away from this version, this aspect, these qualities, this outlook, this new way of thinking, right? Essentially, that's what I'm saying. So he went from serial killer to all of those things that I had just said. So being chased and or attacked is the most common anxiety dream, reflecting your insecurities and the fears you experience in waking life. The dreamer tries to outrun a wild animal, a dark figure, a gang of thugs, a monster, or another pursuer who means harm. Some issues are making you feel under pressure and you feel you have no control other than to run away, outrun, and avoid them. You may feel guilty about getting caught for something you have done. Chase dreams have been regular visitors since childhood, and until you confront these fears at a conscious level, they will keep coming back and turn into reoccurring dreams. Ask yourself who is chasing you and what they represent to you in your life. It may be your natural instincts, wild animal, or emotions, monster or faceless person, or parts of yourself you don't want to acknowledge, monster or shadow. So the attacker can also represent parts of yourself. It is therefore an internal struggle, feelings and behavior that you find difficult to control, such as anger, jealousy, violence. Too much alcohol can take on the appearance of something or someone threatening in a dream. Your dream is asking you to face these self-destructive qualities and actions so that they can be addressed at a conscious level. Very, very interesting. So a lot of that is so relevant because of everything that I said. Again, the serial killer is no longer a serial killer. He is a version of myself, aspect and qualities of myself that is trying to come forth into my waking life. Now, the other card that I pulled is the food card because there was cake involved in the dream, but also not only that, I'm going to focus on to the chapstick because a lot with the mouth, right? So those two parts are with the mouth. So the chapstick that the gatekeeper wanted, or that I bribed the gatekeeper with in order to get out. Obviously, chapstick goes on your lips, which is your mouth, right? In the mouth area. And then food, so eating the food to get out. So a lot with the mouth. And as I say this, intuitively, I'm getting like, speak your truth. Like, you're not allowing things out. You're not allowing the truth to come out. It's like you're, or I say you're, but it's me, right? I'm swallowing it. Like I'm swallowing the truth. I'm eating it. I'm not allowing it to come out. A lot of the things, I've been doing some chakra learning as well. And the throat chakra is related with that as well, right? So when you have situations with the throat area or mouth area, spiritually, on a spiritual level, it could be to do with speaking your truth. And I intuitively kind of picked that up. So rather than allow the truth to come out in the things that I want to say and express, I eat it. So I'm going to read the card here. So food symbolizes your basic needs for emotional and mental nourishment. Dreaming of eating food suggests that you have a need for nourishment in mind, body, and spirit. If you are dieting or changing your diet, your dreams may be a reflection of cravings for the old foods. Generally, dreaming of food means that you may be craving for an experience. Lack of food indicates that you feel deprived of basic human needs, such as affection, recognition, and social interaction. Food serves many purposes. It satisfies your hunger, keeps you alive and healthy, brings enjoyment and gratification. It is also used for celebrations. Depending on the type of food in the dream, your feeling towards that food is important to note. Preparing healthy food, for example, is an indication that you want to adapt a more balanced lifestyle. If you dream that cooking is a chore, perhaps you are bored and need to inject more creativity in your life. Perhaps you have a creative project going. Particular foods have specific meanings. So it has a list of things here. So bread, fruits, meats, sweets, fast food. So obviously the cake is a sweet. So it says indulgent. So dreaming of sweets means you want to indulge in something. And then, so at the bottom here, it says, we all need food to nourish and sustain us. Your attitude to food in the dream will determine what needs nourishing in your real life. So my attitude towards this cake was, I needed it in order to escape the dream realm, right? So it was like a sense of urgency. I absolutely needed it in order to get out. So what I take from that is that I need to allow these qualities, aspects, and version of myself to come forth, to allow the end of like the old thinking aspects version of myself and allow the new to come forward into my waking life. And, again, I had this dream a little while ago, so I think some of those qualities and aspects have come forth. But I mean, there's always room for growth. And I never want to make it to a point in my life where I say that I have everything. I am everything, because nobody has everything. Nobody knows everything. In my opinion, the purpose of life is to continue growing, learning, and even relearning things. So again, we're going to just say this. The serial killer in my dream is aspects and versions and qualities of myself that I need to allow to come forward into my waking life. And the speaking the truth part could even be speaking truth to myself, right? Allowing myself to speak the truth to myself as well as others in order to continue to grow and evolve. And another thing that's kind of popping into my head is like the negative self-talk, right? We are our own worst critics with limiting and keeping ourselves stuck in a space because we constantly judge ourselves and say things, we could have this, or, we long for what comes next. And then we're so judgmental that in the moment where we are, it's not where we want to be. But we have to focus on the moment, right? Again, in my opinion, life is about the journey. It's not about where you're going or how you get to there. It's about where you are in the moment. So I guess how you get there is kind of part of it, right? But you have to do all that with speaking the truth to yourself and allowing the space for change and evolvement, because that is to me life in a nutshell. So I'm going to pull an oracle card now. And again, when I pull the oracle cards for the dream interpretations, I just ask spirit or spirit guides what message this dream has for me. So as I'm shuffling, I'm asking that. I'm setting the intention to find out what message the dream has for me. So I did just shuffle the cards, and the card that came out was magic. And on the card, it says, shift your focus to a positive view. We are all interconnected, linked by a magic thread. Believe in yourself. You have magic in you. Now I'm going to go to the full meaning in the book because that was just on the card. So card number 38, magic. One need not worry or fret about any secret magic to begin to unlock their inner soul. It will respond to the one who seeks it. Ooh, I really like that. I don't think I've ever pulled this card before. And on the card, there is a giant moon, an owl, and a Pegasus. And in the background, there's water. I will be posting all of these pictures like I do on Instagram. So you have to check this one out for sure because this card is absolutely beautiful. So to continue here with the meaning, so the key to inviting magic into your life is to trust that it exists all around you. Suspend disbelief and expand your senses, and you too will access mystical realms and other spiritual dimensions. Magic is about to manifest in wondrous and unexpected ways. All you have to do is open your eyes, ears, and heart to the secret messages that are showered upon you through signs, coincidences, and lucky breaks. If you believe in miracles, you must believe in magic. Stay focused on your intention as you will see magic in action. With your thoughts, you create the world. You are what you think. Everything depends on how you perceive things. The more positively you view things in life, the more you enjoy the positive benefits that result from your thoughts. Think magic thoughts. Know that magic is in every atom of the universe and that you are a part of that magic. Above all, believe in yourself. Shift your consciousness. See webs of interconnectedness. Know that you are linked by magical golden threads, and each thread is a thought that inspires magic. Shift your perception, and you will soon see those around you shifting too. The magical world of fairies and elements, of mythical creatures and people who hold great magic may not be visible to your naked eye, but if you shift your focus, it will make itself known to you. There is a fine veil between the world of matter and that of magic. You can transform your life in a truly magical way if you are willing to suspend disbelief and expect magic to happen. Ooh, that is very, very interesting. So again, that does correspond to everything that I had just said about the dream, about the serial killer being aspects and versions of myself, trying to end or kill old aspects, versions, ways of thinking of my current self. And I mean, this is so relevant in the moment too, but going back to when I had this dream, which was probably about a year and a half ago, I think that it is relevant then and relevant now. It's just so interesting that, you take from a dream that you had a year to a year and a half ago, and it's relevant in the moment as well. I find that very, very fascinating. And I think that goes with divine timing, because divine timing, right? I'm just so fascinated by all things spiritual and how everything kind of like intertwines together. The subconscious mind and the dreams that come to your waking life that you remember. And when you sit down and you actually break it down piece by piece and, correlate what each piece means to you in your waking life, it's kind of crazy how, like, the meaning you get from it. I don't think I will ever be bored of this process. I'm constantly learning something new and different every single time that I record an episode or have a conversation with somebody about the spiritual stuff, or, even not spiritual stuff, just, human level stuff, like constantly learning new things. I just love that feeling when you learn something new. I never want that to end. I want to continuously grow and learn new things. But that is it for the dream. The only other thing that I am going to do today is pull an oracle card from the Shaman's Dream Oracle that I was gifted by a very, very, very close friend of mine. I love her dearly. So I'm going to pull a card from the Shaman's Dream Oracle, and I'm just going to set the intention to get what message do we need to hear today. So the card that I got is card number 48, Sky Dancers, and under that it says Surrender. And in the book, I'm just going to read it here. So Sky Dancers, liberation from attachment, surrender. When a sky dancer appears, she is inviting you to welcome the deepest power of the feminine into your life. You have already overanalyzed your situation to exhaustion. Now is the time to invite the sacred feminine, the wisdom within your heart, no matter your gender, to guide you to success. If you have become earthbound, plotting and planning, and praying for change, cease and desist. Break the habit of being yourself, of repeating the same behavior and hoping for a different outcome. Stop trying to figure it all out and stop overthinking it. Surrender. The Sky Dancers are heralding the arrival of a new relationship with yourself. In your work or in your love life, do not assume that this person or opportunity will rescue you. The only way to liberation is to kiss the ground goodbye and take flight, to rise above the fray and the drama of the struggling, arguing mind. Dance in the sky and view the madness below. By simply witnessing the actors and the human comedy unfolding on the ground, you are transforming it. As you observe the drama, you unleash the power of the sacred feminine that allows for resolution. The Sky Dancers know the maps of heaven and the way to the holiest and most sacred spaces on earth. They come to help you with your current life and, even more important, to guide you to the realization of your own divinity. Very, very interesting. Again, relevant to the dream and the interpretation I just had, as well as in the moment. That is pretty cool. That is all I have for today, guys. I do appreciate you listening and joining me on my roller coaster of information. I will be posting an episode much sooner than the gap that I had between this one and the last one. But until then, goodbye for now, everyone.
Thank you for dreaming with me. If you enjoyed this journey, be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, iHeartRadio, and Amazon Music. Until next time, stay open, stay curious, and trust the wisdom of your subconscious. Sweet dreams, everyone.